Hello, traders. It's Greg. Do a little review here. Market is relentless. Higher high, higher low days. And today gapped up a little, and it's still grinding higher. It's above this pivot, and we see what it does here. 65-minute chart. You can see how there are like very few pivots here. That's an indication of strength. How do I know that? Because if there's no pivots, that means it doesn't pull back to create three higher low bars to the left and right. Not even a mild correction. Because even here, you see it just kind of went sideways, and today it's just grinding up. This morning in the green room, we were looking for a trade in the markets. And so I was watching the S&P, SPY, and the futures, and the Qs, of course, and IWM, and to a lesser extent diamonds, but do look at them. And so the key today was this break to the downside. It was hanging here, above the open, looking at the S&Ps, and it just kind of perked up there a little bit, and it spiked down. And I mentioned in the room, if this can turn back up and move up to the top of that bar, then it's a go above there. And I don't think anybody did the S&P 500 spiders or futures, but I did IWM. I actually did TNA, the leveraged, and some did T triple Q. We'll take a look at those. It was another little spike down, and it continues to move up. I'll mention that the highest volume is in the S&P 500 strike is 55.90, and whatever the highest strike is, it has a tendency to gravitate toward that where it'll stall. So it's not there yet. You can see it's just a little bit away from it, and then you got the whole number at 5,600. So that is probably going to be, I would imagine, the high point today if it could get up there. But so far it continues to be strong. Buying even wide range bar dips and just recovered is not anything I would be buying. Just not my style, because it suggests lower, even though the trend is up, or consolidation. But this right here, this little bear sandwich, as we call it, or the two bars of bullish 180, that supported that it would go higher. And it probably will continue to grind higher toward that high strike volume number. And the same interpretation on any time frame. Here's a wide range bar. The bodies are staying in the upper, say 20% or so, but we look for the bodies to stay in the upper third or upper half. And so the buyers are holding it up here. It supports that it'll go higher. Looking at the Qs, let's put this here. Somewhat similar. It had that same spike reversal and back up again. A little stall there, not a big deal. And IWM was the one I went with because, it has this void. It can come up into that gap there. It was hanging at the 20. Hasn't moved a lot, but we're talking day trades here. But this spiked down less, and it flipped back up again, and it's just churning. And so part of the conversation this morning in the room was with this, biotechs are hanging pretty well. Right? They broke out. They were going up. Looking for KRE to join the party, and it has to somewhat of an extent. But once it did, IWM began to pick up the pace to the upside and play a little catch up. So this, it's a narrow range day, of course. We'll see if this holds on to it. Could be a 1, 2, 3 for tomorrow. So far, holding up really, really well there. And let's see, XBI looks good. Oh, XLE, that came off of the low. So that is helping the Russell as well, moving up. XLF, which led the way up, now that's up at the top of the range. We'll see if it can get and poke up to a new high, all-time high. Just an incredible recovery after such a collapse and a V bottom and right back up again. Just schizophrenic type of price action. Interest rates continue to inch lower, 10-year and the 30-year. Interesting, gasoline is dropping quite sharply. Looks like it's going to break the lows, and oil fell today. So alleviating some inflation concerns. That looks good. Uh, Transports holding up decently. See if they can continue to move up. And some of our opens here, we've got a lot of opens in the advisory letter. Not so many in the weekly options, but uh, this is naked puts. That looks fantastic. If we're down here, should be no problems. It is no problem, right? Lulu, 245 put spread looks good. There is this NEE, another put spread at 77 looks good. Could even be a directional long. We'll see if it holds up here, but it's got a nice base. That looks really good. Of course, we've got KRE. That looks good. ADM put spread looks pretty good as well. Carvana at 145. Well, it's in an uptrend. It's at this resistance. No earnings coming out, so that should be fine. That will be expiration the end of the week. Now, lots of opens in the advisory. Let's see here. There's just so many. I'll just flip through some of these here. Just see what they're doing. Moving up, looks good. Should break out, looks good. Moving up. Bottoming action, dumpster diving there, looks okay. IMAX, little buy setup there, looks good. Looks good. Ford, little dumpster diving, moving up there, looks good. Another dumpster diver, be there Wednesday. Kind of a churner, but looking pretty decent. BABA looks good. Bottoming action looks good, not moving yet. This one in question, this was a short, and this is questionable, of course, because the market is just holding up so damn well. Not much really going down. Stop at 291. So far, this could turn into a topping tail at the end of the day. The markets are at a point where, look, they could roll over at any moment in time. I don't know what would be the motivation for it to do it today. I don't see it. But how many days in a row can it go up? Well, the answer is as much as it wants. But once it closes under a prior day's low, that should be the start of some kind of pullback. Another breakout looks good. Looking good. Another dumpster diver. Not getting going yet. That looks nice. It's got a void to go. Tyson Foods. Decent pattern. See if you can go up. Another uptrend, a grinder. Krispy Kreme. Man, it's amazing. This thing went under at one point, or I think it went private and then it came back again. Another dumpster diving type of setup. Not as clean, but downside shakeout. So that's shaping up. And this one, little buy setup there and a retest looks good. A little back off on that one. Maybe it's a bad tick. You see that big thing there? That looks like a bad tick, so not a concern. And Oscar here, just kind of whippy back and forth, but looks like it's okay. So things shaping up. We'll see this market holding on to its gain and what it's going to do. But look, there's an unfilled gap down here. I'm sure there are plenty of buyers that are thinking buy that gap fill and that 50 MA, but we'll see if it gets there or not, because buyers are kind of falling over themselves to get in, maybe pushing it up to an all-time high. As crazy as that might sound, it does to me after such a drop. It is what it is. As always, if you have questions, email Dan and Greg at Master Trader.